Let's turn our attention now to New York City, where it's day 16 of a sex trafficking trial for hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs.
Prosecutors say the public knew Combs as a larger-than-life music and business mogul, but in private, he used violence and threats to coerce women into drug-fueled sexual encounters for decades.
And someone with all of the latest right there in New York City in front of the federal courthouse is Court TV's own Kelly Craft. Kelly, good to see you. Tell us the latest on what we expect to hear from and who we expect to hear from in this trial.
Well, hi there, Julia and Michael. So I'll just kind of talk briefly about what's been taking place behind me inside the federal courthouse. Court is still going on today. They've been trying to end around 3 o'clock, but really the federal prosecutors and the judge, they want to get through as many witnesses as possible. So they're still going today. On cross-examination right now is a woman by the name of Bryana Bongolan. So she's been on the stand since 11:30 this morning, direct started, and then she's under cross right now. We are taking a look at some video. This is from earlier this morning when Sean Combs' mother arrived in court, how the courtroom is set up. They always save seats for Combs' mother as well as his children, whether they come or not. Those seats are always reserved for that family. And then there's other people that are able to sit around, the public and the media and other attorneys, etc. Now, after that incident took place, or after this morning when we had a computer expert on the stand, this was a video expert. He was talking about that surveillance video. I know we can put up some still shots of that surveillance video from inside that Intercontinental Hotel. This is that beating in which Sean Combs is seen beating Cassie Ventura. So what this expert was talking about on the stand is he put together a compilation of all the videos, 3 surveillance videos from inside the hotel room, as well as cell phone video that was shot by a former security guard. He put them all together. This was played for the jury so they could see a complete video of exactly what took place from beginning to end, showing Cassie on the phone, calling, making a distress call as well. We also can tell you about another witness that's been on the stand. This is Bryana Bongolan, and I know we have some video of her as well. And so she has been testifying about a particular incident in which Sean Combs dangled her over a balcony. We have some full screens we can put up for you in which we're telling you a little bit about who Bryana is. Now, she goes by the name Bana. She's a friend of Cassie Ventura, who sued Combs in 2024 for allegedly groping her and dangling her over a balcony. She testified about this incident. So Cassie Ventura testified about this particular incident, testifying under an immunity order granted by the judge. So yes, Bryana is under immunity here, immunity order. She got on the stand earlier and she invoked the 5th. So the big thing, the big takeaway from her testimony is about being dangled over the balcony. Defense counsel has really been trying to tear her testimony apart, attacking her credibility as well as inconsistent statements they're saying that she has made as to where exactly this dangling incident took place, saying that Cassie Ventura said it happened in a hotel, but you're up here on the stand saying it happened in an apartment, basically indicating that her and Cassie are colluding together just in order to get money from Combs, because Bryana has filed a $10 million civil suit against Sean Combs.
And Kelly, I mean, the federal case has progressed pretty well. They should be coming close to an end. What else can we expect to hear from, or who else can we expect to hear from at trial?
Michael, so the prosecutors have said that they do expect to rest sometime next week, but we know we're still waiting to hear from a woman who's going to go by the name Jane. So Jane, this is one of the women that the federal prosecutors mentioned in their opening statements, talking about 3 victims at a minimum of Sean Combs, basically indicating that he used his fame, his fortune, and his power to manipulate and force these women into doing things. So she's going by the name Jane to protect her identity. She is described as a single mother who Combs preyed on after his relationship with Ventura. Combs allegedly coerced her into these freak-offs, allegedly beating her when she resisted. So 3 big witnesses that the federal prosecutors talked about in its opening. Of course, Cassie Ventura central to all of this. And then we heard from Mia. And then upcoming is going to be a woman who will go by Jane.
All right, Kelly Craft, thank you so much for the latest there outside of the federal courthouse. We'll let you go for now and bring in our analysts who are standing by, still with us, national trial attorneys Madeline Somerville and Michael Jaffer. Madeline, let me start with you. You're a federal litigator. These government witnesses that are coming in, this one is not the first who has pleaded the fifth and then been granted immunity in front of this jury. Is it a problem that so many of these government witnesses are needing to plead the fifth against their own self-incrimination in front of the jury?
I think the only reason why it's problematic to talk about anything related to immunity in front of the jury is because it creates questions in the jurors' minds. And when there are remaining questions in the jurors' minds, that leads itself to reasonable doubt, even if it's not reasonable doubt about this specific fact. When you put it on the jurors to try to answer these questions and fill in the blanks, right? Like, why does she need immunity? What is it that she did? What is the involvement here? The more you make them question things and don't fill in the blanks for them, the less they're going to trust you. And it's always about trust. It's always about which side's version of events do I trust. So it creates just a sense of doubt.
Michael Jaffer, yesterday we heard that Diddy bought for $100,000 that video that we're talking about. We saw Kelly talking about earlier. To me, that was one of the more important acts because he's trying to protect himself. When we talk about racketeering, that's the kind of thing I think of, right? You're going to spend money. And one of the most chilling things was he wanted the name and addresses of everybody involved who was getting money from that $100,000, with the implications being anybody do anything, untoward, you're going to be in trouble because we got your name and address, et cetera. You see these in these crime movies all the time. Do you agree with me that that was an important part of the federal case?
Oh, absolutely. Very important part of the federal case. Look, the federal government has to do something that is very, very difficult, right? They have to bring this into a racketeering framework, right? So they have to prove that in the last 10 years, he has done more than 2 or more acts that bring this into the racketeering sphere, right? They're saying that his media mogul empire was not there just to sell records and make money. It was there to proliferate and keep him, allow him to do his sexual coercion, and he had his staff doing it with him.
We're gonna
So
leave it right
all
there.
of this is
we
important.
We have to get to a break. Stay
Sorry.
with us. More Court TV Live on the other side.